Our world is full of mysteries, bizarre occurrences, and events throughout the history, some of them so bizarre that it is difficult to believe. Today, I will share 10 bizarre historical facts that are truly shocking. But before I do that, hi everyone. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe it. If you like the stories and videos which I share, please do share it with your friends and family so that they can also join the channel and listen to these stories. And please press that bell icon. I upload my stories twice a week, sometimes thrice a week. So as soon as I upload my video, you will get a notification and you will be able to hear these stories then and there. Also, please do comment after listening to these stories that how do you find the video. And I'm about to cross 100 subscribers. I'm just waiting for one. So if you have not subscribed my channel, please do subscribe. So let's start with the story. Number 1. After the death of Israel's first president in November 1952, the presidency was offered to Albert Einstein. But he declined by saying that he is not good at people management and is not naturally gifted in dealing with people. Albert Einstein was 73 years old at that time and was suffering from ill health. Albert Einstein was a Jewish, which led to his decision to leave Germany in 1930. He was called the greatest Jew alive by the first president of Israel, Chaim Weizmann. Number 2. King Henry VIII had a grooms of the stool and their job was to wipe his backside after he defecated. All 4 individuals who served in this position under Henry VIII's rule were knighted. So he literally knighted 4 men for wiping his backside. Those days people wanted to be grooms of the stool. It was highly desired job. The king chose only men whom he trusted the most to be relaxed with while pooping. The groom of stool did other jobs too, like they were in charge of king's clothes, jewels and tableware. They also discussed the king's health with royal doctor. They were also considered king's closest friend and confidant, who were also there with the king during king's private activities. Number 3. Totoma Yamaguchi was 29 years old and he was a naval engineer. He was on a business trip to Hiroshima on 6th of August 1945, surviving the atomic bomb blast despite being only 2 miles away from where the blast took place. On 7th August 1945, he traveled to his home in Nagasaki. 2 days later, there was another atomic bomb blast in Nagasaki. He survived again. He passed away at the age of 93 in 2010. Lucky man. Number 4. George Washington, the first president of United States, he had oral dental health problem. People believed that he had wooden teeth dentures, but instead his dentures were made of materials like gold, lead, ivory and other human and animal teeth. George Washington suffered from dental issues since his teens, and by the time he took the presidential oath, he was left with only one natural tooth. His dental problem caused him lots of discomfort and teeth problem. It also slightly changed the shape of his face. His inaugural speech is still considered shortest in US history. He was often quiet during public events and it also affected his personal and political life. Number 5. The Library of Alexandria in ancient Egypt was one of the most largest and most significant library in the history of the world. It had vast collection of work ranging from 40 to 400,000 scrolls and writings. It was considered as a symbol of knowledge and unity. It was established in 3rd century BCE in Alexandria, Egypt. Scholars from different parts of the world came here to visit the library. It was considered jewel of Hellenistic civilization. Library had collection of works from philosophy, history, mathematics, astronomy, art and language. It was considered as center of intellectual progress and advancement in various fields of study. However, it suffered various destructive events like fire during Julius Caesar civil war in 48 BCE and religious attacks and conflicts in subsequent centuries. These events led to the loss of countless papers and scrolls, and the destruction of library with vast amount of knowledge stored in it. It is believed that library was finally destructed during the rise of Christian Roman Empire and decline of pagan institutions. We can only think how much knowledge was erased with the content of library. Number 6. India had not invaded any country in last 10,000 years. In early 2022, India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh asserted that India in its history had never invaded or tried to conquer any other country. However, India is the most invaded country in the world. India started existing as a united nation in 1947. Before that, India was divided in kingdoms like Marathas, Rajputs, Mughals and Mauryas. Several attempts by empires including the Greek, Mongols and Persian were made to conquer India, but they failed. Mostly nations invade other countries to fulfill their need, but India was having enough resources and was self-sufficient. It was major trade hub throughout the history. So being self-sufficient, India never tried to invade any other country. Number 7. In early centuries, there were many leather-bound books. In fact, apart from animal leather, leather from human were also used. It is a phenomenon known as anthropodermic bibliography, in which human skin was used as leather to cover books. To make this leather, skins of executed convicts and criminals as well as dead people were used. Number 8. In ancient Greek city of Sparta, a newborn baby was the property of state and not the parents. As soon as a child was born, soldiers would come at the house of the parents and bathe the baby in wine to assess how it reacted. If the baby cried too much, then they deemed it to be weak, and so either the baby was took away to be a slave or abandoned to die. If the baby reacted nicely when bathed in wine, it was deemed to be strong and it was left with its parents until the age of 7. After the age of 7, girls were sent off to school and boys were sent to train in special military school where they were deliberately starved, beaten and trained to fight. If they survived to age of 20, they faced a final physical and mental test which determined their fate. Those who passed the test became aristocrats and those who failed became middle class. If they became aristocrat, they were given a wife and farm with slaves. Number 9. Cleopatra, the last pharaoh of ancient Egypt, wasn't an Egyptian. She came from a long line of non-Egyptian rulers. She was the last of Ptolemaic rulers. After Alexander the Great invaded in 3032 BCE, Egypt came under the rule of Macedonian and Greek. After Alexander's death, Ptolemy, a Macedonian nobleman, took control of Egypt, establishing a dynasty that would rule the Egyptian empire for 10 generations. The Ptolemaic rulers distinguished themselves by marrying their own siblings. Cleopatra married both her brothers. She was a scholar, a scientist, and a gifted chemist who was known to experiment with the poison. She spoke 9 languages. Number 10. In 1807, Napoleon's chief of staff, Alexander Berthier, organized a rabbit hunt for Napoleon. He invited Napoleon and his entourage to a park that he owned within Paris. He arranged 1,000 rabbits to be brought to the park for the Emperor Napoleon. After Napoleon had his breakfast, the rabbits were released in the park for Napoleon to hunt. Napoleon and his companions were firing at them. Then the strangest thing happened. The herd of rabbits converged into one large mass and attacked Napoleon, climbing up his legs, swarming him so much that he stumbled. Realizing that this was not a fight that he could win, he fled to his carriage. But the rabbits followed him and climbed up his carriage. Eventually, he was able to escape. If you like today's video, then do mention in the comment section. I love to read your comments, and I will soon share another video on Monday. Till then, bye.